Hong Kong was insane. I ate so much food. I had countless Hong Kong milk teas, as many as I possibly could. I shot a lot of pictures, digital and film. I was able to score on the specific film that I've been looking for forever. So let's get into it. I was in Hong Kong for a couple days at the very end of October, like literally Halloween and the first couple days of November. I just had the absolute best time. I like to keep my travel kit super minimal, so I just took my Fuji X100V and my Olympus Mu point and shoot, and I brought just a ton of film with me. I brought Cinestill like 400D and 800T, as well as Fuji Color 100, and one of my favorites is Fuji Superia 400. My big goal for this trip was just to walk around and experience as much of Hong Kong as possible. I wanted to meet up with my friend Kevin Liu for the first time. He's a local resident there of Hong Kong. And I also wanted to get my hands on some Fujifilm film specifically because it's nearly impossible to get in the States. All right, that's way too much yapping. Let's experience Hong Kong together. So originally I was staying in Mongkok in the Kowloon side of Hong Kong, and I was actually there on Halloween night, which was actually a super cool experience, and I was super jet lagged and really tired, and I needed to get some good food, and I wanted to explore a little bit and get my bearings. So went out to a noodle shop that my good friend back home recommended to me. Wow, what an experience that was. The second you walk in, it's just a really nice warm ambience, a very local seeming atmosphere. You sit in a booth and potentially with a stranger, which was what happened with me because I was just one person. The interesting thing about how Hong Kong works is it's very efficient. Everything happens fast. I sat down and ordered in like 2 seconds and my food came out immediately. I made friends with this lady who sat across from me in the booth, and we ended up ordering the same thing, and oh, it was so good. So when I went to pay, I pulled out my credit card and they immediately let me know they don't accept credit card. And I was like, huh? And they said they only accept cash, Octopus card, or Alipay. I hadn't gotten my Octopus card, which is the local Metro card, which you can load up with cash and you can actually pay at a bunch of restaurants. I knew I needed to do this, but my plan was to eat first, then go do that because I was so hungry. I was struggling through all this and I was freaking out, trying to stay calm, but kind of internally panicking because I was trying to figure out how to pay. I was about to ask the cashier lady, like, I'll leave like my cameras and my valuable stuff here, let me just go to the Metro and get some cash and they'll come back and pay. And the super nice lady that I met in the booth I was eating in was like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I'm just trying to figure out how to pay. And she said, oh, don't worry about it, I got you. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, no, it's super cheap, I got you, no worries. She bailed me out and I was so happy, and this was my first real experience of Hong Kong, which was kind of a so-so one turned into like the best experience. It really encapsulated my time here in Hong Kong. The people are so nice and friendly and welcoming and just left a really good impression on me. So the second after I thanked her like 1,000 times, like thank you, thank you, thank you, I immediately went to the closest MTR station, got my cash, got my Octopus card, and I ended up using this the rest of the time. Shout out to that lady, Amy, I'll never forget that. Thank you. Now that I have my Octopus card and I'm feeling settled, it was time to explore. So I walked a little bit around Mongkok. Again, I was super jet lagged and I needed to go to bed, but Halloween was happening and there were people in costumes everywhere, which was super fun. So I was just walking around getting a bunch of pictures of people that I saw. And actually my favorite picture was this group of people on motorcycles in costumes. They're like revving their engines, sitting in traffic. And so I just kind of stepped into the street and I waved at them and I was like, oh, picture? And they're like, yeah. And so I just took this picture of them and I was super stoked with how it turned out. And oh man, Hong Kong, people there are just so nice and it's so fun, and everything's kind of overwhelming, especially because it's literally my first time experiencing it, but I had a great time walking around. And of course I had to finish the night off with some egg tarts, which 10 out of 10. So the next morning, the plan was to meet up with my friend Kevin Liu for dim sum and his wife at Maxim's Palace in Central. So this is on Hong Kong Island on the other side from Mongkok of where I was staying. But I woke up pretty early again because I was jet lagged and I was like super hungry. I knew I needed to get a good coffee in me if I was going to be any sort of functional. The coffee shop was really nice. Coffee like brought me back to life. One of the things they had at the cafe was this really cool book about the people who live and work in Hong Kong, anything from locals who've been there forever to immigrants, and really just encapsulating what the city of Hong Kong is all about. And obviously for myself, I was really drawn to it because it was very much like a street portrait kind of style for all the images. I just had a great time flipping through it, drinking my coffee and waking up. So after having my coffee, I walked around Mongkok a bit. Again, I wanted to capture it during the day versus the contrast to a little bit of what I saw at night. And I loaded my film camera up with Superior 400 and walked around and got some cool shots. Then I made my way over to Central on Hong Kong Island to meet up with Kevin and his wife for dim sum. Dim sum was absolutely insane. I ate as much as I could and the place just kept coming, and it was incredible. Couldn't have asked for a more beautiful spot. Thank you, Kevin, for setting that up, and it was great. After dim sum, Kevin wanted to take me around for the rest of the day and be my tour guide. It was honestly such a blur of all the places we went, but we basically were around Central and checking out old Hong Kong. I wanted to give a really big shout out to Kevin because not only was he just an incredibly great tour guide, but also just one of the nicest and most welcoming people that I've met. He was so patient with me because I was definitely jet lagged. He showed me so many great places and would literally just be like, all right, look there, shoot there. This gave me so much like history and backstory, and a really humble photographer as well. He is absolutely incredible, and I think he deserves more credit than he gives himself. One thing that I really wanted to do was to hop on the Star Ferry, and because it was starting to get towards golden hour, I finished up my roll of Superior 400 and I switched to Cinestill 400D, which I absolutely love for golden hour, and I wanted to shoot it on the ferry too. And I'm so happy with how these pics turned out. So we ended up taking the Star Ferry like twice, I think, on accident. But obviously I love the ferry and it's a super fast ride, so I didn't mind it at all. And I actually got through my roll of Cinestill 400D super fast. So once I wrapped that up, I switched to a roll of 800T because the sun was going down and I knew we were going to do a bunch of night photography. Kevin wanted to take me to Chillhop as well as Mongkok and show me some more areas that I could take shots of. Also, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, one of my big missions was to get my hands on some Fujifilm film because I needed to restock and I was just hoping that there would be some there. So Kevin took me to Showa in Mongkok and we scored. There was all the Fujifilm film that I could ever want. Fujicolor 100, 200, 400, Superior 400, and then Superior Premium, which I actually have not had a chance to shoot yet. So I kind of went crazy and I got a bunch. I was literally like so happy. I was pretty tired from the day, but like I feel like I lit up. I was like a kid in a candy store. Like I was so happy. So then after Showa, which in itself is like a super cool. So after Showa, he wanted to take me to Sim City. I was like overwhelmed. If you've been on the wait list for Fujifilm X100VI for like over a year now, I bet you your order is in Hong Kong because I've never seen so many Fuji X100VIs in my life. This was back in October, but like I probably saw almost 50 of them. Like no joke. And Kevin just texted me and they still have a ton there. If you really want one, you should probably go to Hong Kong. But don't tell anyone about the secret because we don't want people to be going there and taking all their stock as well. I just had the most incredible time on this day. Just everything from just walking around, taking the ferry, taking the MTR everywhere, checking out all these markets. Kevin was just an insanely good tour guide and I had so much fun. And dim sum was incredible. I had my fair share of milk teas as well. Just a great time. But this was only day one. I still had another full day of activities, and that video will be coming along very soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And again, that video will be coming super soon. So have a good one. Later.